Welcome to another Soccer Down Here 1v1. Time to catch up with the general manager of Georgia Storm, one of the newest entrants into the NPSL, Stephen Bivens. Stephen, thanks for hanging out with us for a 1v1.
Yeah, John, thanks for having me. I'm looking forward to it.
All right, so I know that part of this, we're going to talk about the relationship now with the NPSL, but for those that don't know about Georgia Storm on the whole, I know that some folks in our Georgia footprint do, but for those who aren't from Georgia and aren't a part of the footprint, a little bit of a background on Georgia Storm.
Yeah, so Georgia Storm was founded in 2014 by two founders, Bill Rucker and Josh Bivens, in West Georgia as a youth soccer club. So we participate in Georgia youth soccer and U.S. youth soccer on all the different levels and leagues. And we've been growing. We've had a significant adult presence start to grow as well. So that's some of the reasons why we're interested in growing the adult side.
And I know that there in Carrollton, I know what high school athletics means to that particular part of the state in West Georgia. What has the soccer community been like in your time there in West Georgia? How has it grown to where it is now?
Yeah, so when we started out as a youth club, we were really expecting to get 50 to 100 players because it's not the biggest city. And we were able in the first 2 years to generate almost 2,000 youth players from the area between Douglasville, Villa Rica, and Carrollton. And so from there, we saw a good community of soccer that people were interested in playing and growing and watching. So from there, we started to grow it. And we also ventured into some adult soccer, hosting some adult leagues, and we had some good turnouts for that. And so we kind of just are trying to integrate our soccer communities between the youth side and the adults that are now interested in participating and playing as well.
So how much of a fun problem was it to have 2,000 show up and trying to figure out the logistics involved when you were thinking that you might have maybe 1 to 10% of that number?
Right. So we had to obviously bring on coaches pretty quickly and establish a good culture to generate a good experience for all the youth players. But it was a very exciting thing, and it's always a good problem to have.
What's it been like to see the sport grow here in the Southeast, especially in this footprint from the time that you've been engaged in the sport?
Yeah, it's been great. I actually grew up playing soccer in West Georgia for the two founders of Georgia Storm. It was a different club at the time. And it's great to see the evolution of soccer and the change and the growth and how development is being placed as an emphasis and players are starting to really contribute on the higher levels. So that's really exciting.
Why the NPSL?
Yeah, so as a youth club, we were kind of looking for our next step. And with adult soccer in the area and a big community of people who want to watch the game, we wanted to have that next step for our youth club to participate in a semi-professional or professional environment to play at the highest level possible as an adult and as a senior team player, basically.
So when you saw the NPSL, I guess, what were those, from what you can divulge, what were the conversations like? What was the give and take and all the question and answer sessions? What was Georgia Storm looking for in the NPSL, and what is the NPSL looking for in Georgia Storm?
Yeah, so we were looking for a men's team competitive level in the Southeast. And the NPSL obviously has, almost 100 teams across the country. I personally have played for 2 different NPSL clubs in my playing career. So I've seen that. I've seen the level. And as I started working with Georgia Storm Youth Soccer, so Youth Soccer Academy, we found that the NPSL would be a great option based on some of the costs and the presence in the Southeast and the level of play. And the fact that the NPSL is growing, we're very excited to be a part of that.
Who'd you play for?
So I played for the Atlanta Silverbacks Reserves back in 2013, and then I played 2 seasons with the Georgia Revolution, 2016, 2017.
So you know what these rivalries are like. You know what it's like to be out there in Conyers or in Henry County and having to pack up and go play Silverbacks Reserves. You know what it's like to pack up and go play in Nashville or a Knoxville Force, right, or something like that. You know what these rivalries are like. What's it like for you to be able to share those conversations with everybody there in the office and go, look, this is next level stuff we're dealing with here. This is rivalry stuff. This is what we're getting into now.
Yeah, absolutely. And that was one of the conversations that went on that was exciting for us is, I personally have played at a Chattanooga FC where you show up and there's 5,000 fans for a semi-professional game, which is insane. And so to see the excitement around this league, and the interaction among the fans with the teams and the players, I thought that it would be a great step for the youth club to venture into a men's team.
What's the expectation level now going into the NPSL? I know it's a part of a larger picture, but what's the expectation level?
Yeah, so we're looking to form a strong team in the first year. We're going to go out and find players that can produce at the highest level. We're going to build a coaching staff around that. We're going to continue the culture of our youth soccer academy into our NPSL team and try and continue that and keep that strong. And we're going to look to make a push and try to make the playoffs in the first year. So we're excited to do that.
And I know at the same time you're looking for, on the adult side of things, and as you're developing through academies and such, you're looking for a specific kind of individual to properly represent Georgia Storm out on the field, but also out in the community and in the footprint. When I mention to you the kind of individual that Georgia Storm wants to have representing that crest, what kind of individual are you looking for?
Yeah, so we want someone with incredible character, with strong integrity, and somebody who is someone that the youth players can look up to, because we will be closely tied to the youth club. So we'll have a lot of representation. The youth players will see us on almost a day-to-day basis. And we want to represent the club with honor and respect, and carry that crest in the best way possible, because we know that we are trying to raise up some of these youth players to play at this level who are dreaming of it and want to play.
You're playing at Grisham, right?
I'm sorry?
Where are you planning on playing the matches?
Yeah, Grisham. Sorry. Yes. We will be at Carrollton High School's stadium, Grisham Stadium. And we're excited about that. It's a very incredible stadium. It's got a great seating capacity. It's got quality turf field. It's got some incredible seating. So we're looking forward to that, and it's going to be a good thing.
Yeah, well, and because Grisham is a part of the fabric of Carrollton with the Trojans and CHS and West Georgia before they went back on campus and had their own stadium built. So, I mean, it makes a lot of sense for Georgia Storm that wants to be a part of the fabric of the Carrollton area and everything else that's surrounding to play at a place like Grisham. There's a lot of attached history there. Yes,
for sure. And as a club, as a youth club up to this point, we've had a lot of interaction with Carrollton High School. We've used their facilities before. Some of our players attend the high school there and the middle school. So we're excited to work together with the high school and be able to play at Grisham, because it is an incredible environment.
How difficult is it these days to run both a program, a new team in an NPSL, an academy in the time of COVID-19? What's it been like for Georgia Storm to try to operate still in this environment?
Right. So obviously there's certain protocols where some of the practices have been limited and things like that. But the good thing as far as our NPSL team is we've had a little bit more time to plan. So some of my youth soccer priorities were kind of pushed back a little bit. So that allowed us to focus a good bit more time on developing our NPSL plan and getting the bid in initially, and also start to look for players and generate that culture and be ready for when the season comes in 2021.
How big was that proposal?
It was pretty big. A couple pages thick. We worked hard on it. There were several of us that worked on it together. And we're proud of what we presented, and the NPSL obviously accepted that. So we're excited about it.
All right. So for those that want to get in touch with Georgia Storm, find out what's going on, be a part of the fabric, be a part of something from the ground up when it comes to the NPSL, how do folks get in touch with you guys and stay in touch with everything going on?
Yeah, so we're on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook. Our Instagram is at Georgia Storm NPSL. Our Twitter is at GA Storm NPSL. Our Facebook, you can find us at Georgia Storm SA. So we'll be posting updates. We'll post a lot of our player signings, our coaching announcements, any ways that the fans can be engaged with us, and some of our community events that we'll be doing in the area. So keep up with us and make sure you follow us on those in the near future.
All those different platforms. Stephen Bivens, GM of the Georgia Storm, one of the new additions to the NPSL here in the Southeast. Stephen, thanks for hanging out with us for a Soccer Down Here 1v1. Good luck. We'll be keeping an eye. Stay safe, and we'll catch up soon.
All right, John. Thanks for having me. Talk to you soon.